Mandalorian is okay, I guess. The first season was kinda great, and I enjoyed the first three episodes quite a bit, and there were some good bits after that as well. I guess a lot of Star Wars fans are just happy that there is at least one Star Wars thing coming out that isn't terrible. To be honest, that's all it really feels like. There isn't really much else to this thing, at least for now, I guess. Now I'm going to talk about the second season for a bit. And before I get into it, I'm going to mention some things that apply to all the episodes. The show looks pretty great. All the visuals look real except for the dark saber and Luke. I also noticed that Luke almost looks okay in 360p. So if you ever want to rewatch it, I enjoyed a lot of the action, I guess. It's actually kind of stupid. Like you have this scene where the stormtrooper just runs at him with the gun instead of shooting him. And the other scenes where they just fucking walk out into a room full of enemies and no one gets shot. I know Stormtrooper aim sucks and all, but this is just taking it to a new level.
And these last points, too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise.
But despite that, most of the action was fine, and of course, the music was pretty great. Now, on to the episode by episode. I guess the opening episode was okay. The dragon thing looked cool, this guy's accent was kind of annoying, and I kind of liked the ant thing, I guess. The frog lady spider episode was kind of good. I really liked it, I think. Except when Baby Yoda ate the fucking eggs. Like, what the fuck? That's not funny. I did like the sound that Baby Yoda made here. It's way better than the regular baby sound. The episode had a smaller conflict and nothing epic happened. And that's what's good about it. And the scene where she just starts jumping like an actual frog is the best. So I guess something epic did happen. I feel a bit weird saying I like something directed by this guy because he was the one they got as a replacement for Edgar Wright when he quit Ant-Man because of studio interference. But I guess on the other hand, you could praise the show for its consistency in tone, pacing, and visual effects despite having so many different directors. It really did feel like there was some kind of greater force above the directors making sure everything was okay. The third episode was okay, I guess. Episode 4 was nice. It was nice to see these guys again, I guess. Whatever. Okay, I haven't seen Clone Wars, so I guess I can't whine that much about this, but the idea of other Jedi existing in the Luke Skywalker era is something I'm still getting used to.
When gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you be?
Should it be something I forgive if the characters introduced and their shows are well written and good? I don't really know. Maybe if I watch the Clone Wars, I'll know. Well, I'm sorry I haven't watched it yet. It just kinda looks like shit. I don't know, maybe if I watch it, the story will be good enough to justify all that. I've definitely enjoyed shittier looking things to be fair. But for now, it just weirds me out that there were Jedi out there not doing anything to help as the Empire did its thing. This episode on its own wasn't that bad though. I really enjoyed the look of it. They did a good job distinguishing it from the other planets. They pulled off the dark look without making it ugly. It's even more impressive considering that there's so much yellow in there. The plot is okay, I guess, but I can't help but feel that if Ahsoka wasn't in it, they would have put more effort into it. When she brought up the whole attachment leading to dark side bullshit, it kind of fucking pissed me off.
His attachment to you makes him vulnerable to his fears. His anger.
It's one of the dumbest things that George Lucas has ever come up with, and you gotta distance yourself from that as much as you can. The only time it's acceptable is when the person saying it is made clear to be wrong. I don't know about you, but I prefer it when the Jedi aren't a bunch of boring, sexless assholes. No wonder it felt like the Ahsoka episode existed just to set up her fucking show.
So I don't know anything to say about Clone Wars. I never watched the cartoon, but it looks like they're bringing that character
That's Ubajuba.
Because it had no consequence and went nowhere. The whole conflict of the episode just felt like a quick thing that they came up with in 10 minutes, and I was never really surprised by anything throughout the episode. Oh no, a laser sword fight? I wonder who's gonna fucking win.
Go to the planet Tython. There you will find the ancient ruins of a temple that has a strong connection to the Force. Place Grogu on the Seeing Stone at the top of the mountain.
Wait, She just fucking weaseled her way out of that, didn't she? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I guess I shouldn't be that picky about it. Overall, I'm giving this one a boring out of 10. Episode 6 was fine too. The one action scene, to be honest, was a bit tedious. I like the action scenes as quick, cheesy moments. I'm not gonna get invested in them or anything, so it's a bit annoying when shit keeps moving on the screen for a long time. If you're not as invested in the story and there's a long action scene, you mostly just hope for it to end quick. And yes, it does kind of weird me out that Boba Fett is a badass now. I think it would have been more appropriate if he were like a joke character, like Yamcha or Jerry or something. Episode 7 was the Bill Burr episode, and I think it might be my favorite one. I enjoyed this character and what they did with him. The action felt like it was just the right amount, and it also felt like it moved the plot forward in a satisfying way. I liked the moment when the Imperial troops rescued them. I was genuinely not expecting it. Not because the writing was clever or anything, it's just because my brain has been trained to look at these guys as fodder to get shot. So that was a neat moment. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, now they can aim well? It makes sense with the point of the episode as well, which was to humanize the lower level troops of the Empire. And it's nice that they let Bill Burr go. He'll probably be back next season, and that's nice. Okay, so the finale. This is where shit gets kinda weird. Finally, electric music in Star Wars. I was shocked. I don't know if people are mad about this, but I hope they are, because that would be fun. I didn't care, to be honest. Whatever. But the most divisive thing is, of course, Luke. I guess it's epic, and when it happened, I just went, ah. This also means that Baby Yoda was most likely killed by Kylo Ren. It does feel kinda justified because of the whole Luke training other students thing, which was set up in The Last Jedi and all that crap. But let's get real, the show is compensating for not being as interesting. I really hope they leave this stuff behind and focus on the Mandalorian stuff for season 3. Best not to interfere with the other characters too much, I guess. Besides, when you get to the point where references and nostalgia bait go so far, it's actually worse than the sequel trilogy. That's a cause for worry. Mandalorian was good because it was a product of Disney chilling the fuck out. They kept it smaller scale and outside the main timeline. Now Disney is gaining confidence again and they announced like a bunch of Star Wars stuff. It might get out of hand again. Or at least that's what I'm worried about. Yes, there were a lot of Star Warsy things in season 1 of this show, but none of it felt like it was over reliant on nostalgia. Because to be fair, no one gets their dicks hard over Jawas. Let's get real. And the Empire stuff really just felt like, oh, we need villains, I guess. So it might as well be the Empire. And there are a lot of fun new things in this, like this guy and these creatures and shit. And Baby Yoda, despite being Yoda's species, somehow had a completely different appeal. And people liking Yoda isn't entirely what made him famous. Of course, him being Yoda's species led to him being called Baby Yoda, and that led to the memes that made him as famous as he is now. But to be fair, there are other factors here too. And I don't even think that season 1 is great. But it felt worth watching because of some of the mildly interesting things in there, and them being simple and spaced out helped the experience too. There's a big difference between that and the references in season 2. Like an entire episode dedicated to Ahsoka, bringing back a character that died just because the fans have been jerking after him, and young Luke Skywalker just showing the fuck up, are some major fucking additions. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Jon Favreau for a bit, I guess. Iron Man was a decent movie, and to be honest, I used to think this guy was amazing after I saw Chef and found out he directed Zathura, one of my childhood favorites. A movie like Chef had a lot of personality, and it felt like Jon Favreau was putting effort into things that actually matter, like creating charming characters and using humor to make us like them. The Jungle Book remake was something that I considered to be a one for us, one for them situation. But now with The Lion King 2019, I feel like I don't even know who this guy is anymore. YMS Adam has been going through a lot of the special features for the film, and it's ridiculously clear that all he cared about was making it realistic, and he didn't even give a single shit about the characters or emotion or anything like that.
And again, really no emotion in the face, which is counterintuitive if you're doing a film like Lion King, where you want the animals to express a lot of emotion. And so it fell upon the voice cast.
He's literally just saying it out loud. It's so weird.
And Mandalorian Season 2, despite having some fun things in it, really lacks that personality that's important for movies and TV shows. There's a difference between something being competent and it feeling like a genuine artistic expression of the people making it. The Mandalorian, with all its references and all that other extended universe bullshit surrounding it, really feels like it was compensating for that lack in artistic value. When you ask adults why they like this thing, they usually say they like how it connects with the Clone Wars show, or how they thought it was cool that Luke showed up in the end or something. There's no charm, emotional investment, or even something like visual flair. Because I don't consider something like Baby Driver something that I had emotional investment in. It's all just style and flair, and that's why the personality comes through for that movie, which I will take over nothing. And because I'm not someone who's pathetically invested in the Star Wars lore, or someone who thinks that Baby Yoda is so cute that he compensates for all that stuff, this kind of thing worries me. In fact, it worries me way more than something that's undeniably just the worst shit. A movie like Justice League doing badly in the box office is great because it teaches them that they're on the wrong track at least. But a movie like Spider-Man Far From Home doing well in the box office only shows them that they can make the most safe, bland bullshit and still make a ridiculous profit. And the same thing applies to Mandalorian Season 2. Sure, it's competently written, but I didn't really feel anything beyond mild interest while watching it. I would take a shitty thing filled with personality over a reasonably competent thing that lacks personality. The fact that a director that I consider to be a competent filmmaker went through this studio system and came out a hollow shell of who he used to be is terrifying. I don't think John forgot how to do his job. I just think that he's become comfortable with all the restrictions he works under. I guess I can't really blame him or any of the other filmmakers that have given up recently. When directors put passion into something, they don't necessarily get rewarded. So might as well just do whatever, I guess. But I don't mean to sound too whiny, because you never know, season 3 could be great. I'm mildly interested in seeing how the conflict between the creepy lady and Mando plays out. And I just really hope they keep the force out of it. That's all I'm asking.